think the whole premise of how Whoops Did I Think That Out Loud even came about was I distinctively recall sitting in a meeting room, and this was a pretty senior meeting room, and I'm listening to all these HR executives talk. And there was a moment where I'm like, oh my God, the stuff that you say in this room can never exit this room. Do people you work with actually know that this is what you think and this is like what's going through your head as you're kind of going out there and championing? It's about the people, it's about like the engagement, et cetera, et cetera. So that was when I kind of started that Oops Did I Think That Out Loud, the very first article, which is about DEI in the corporate world, essentially. And since then, I've just strived to be sort of like the real talk BFF, as I call myself, in HR tech, which is essentially like, let's call things for what they are. If it's legit, let's say like, yep, it's legit, move on. If it's not legit, give some positive feedback. There's no need to chase after people with pitchforks, but there's also, I don't think, room for snake oil necessarily to be sold in the market anymore.
I love it. Yeah, it's funny. I guess I kind of do that, off the record, like whether it's morning quarterbacking, as they say, or this whole show is around responsible AI, and I'm always pushing people to think more deeply about the things that they're building, as well as just this concept of being responsible by design, just like we used to say, privacy by design. And if you think about it from the beginning, from conception, then you have less to worry about, and you can, I guess, move fast, maybe break a few things, but make sure that you're not completely propagating these behaviors. And I've seen that a lot with some of the generative AI solutions, certainly.
For sure. And I think this whole notion of like moving fast and breaking things, like in the world of HR tech, it's almost like we took the surface without understanding the deeper layers of what that sentence was intended to mean. Let's think about the full circular ecosystem here, that if you have investors or vendors, solution providers who are kind of like pinballs in a pinball machine bouncing off, think about the end users. Think about the HR teams that are kind of chasing after those trends, not exactly sure where things land, not having the time to necessarily investigate. And then on top of that, think about the ultimate workforce that's on the receiving end of that technology. I think the impact is exponentially larger in that case. And I'm not sure if every HR tech designer out there thinks about that when they're launching new solutions.